What's going on, everyone? Juice Bags here, and welcome back to some Dungeon Defenders 2 and my fresh playthrough for 2024. Now, we managed to make it through to get Chaos 4 unlocked. We've got a champion score of 1804 now, and of course, our next goal is going to be to get to 2750 to unlock Chaos 5. Now, we did get this done before we finished our Dragonfall Explorer quest. So in total so far, we've played 9 Chaos maps. We've got 2 Chaos 1 maps, which unlocked Chaos 2. Then we've got 3 Chaos 2 maps, which unlocked Chaos 3. And then we did 4 Chaos 3 maps, which unlocked Chaos 4. So we've got one more map to do before we finish this one out. We want to try to get our first Chaos 4 win. Sadly, I haven't gotten any good shards. I'm still rocking destruction and defense rate on my flame auras with an unused defense crit and unupgraded. And then I've got nothing on sky guards, unupgraded defense crit and lightning strikes, unupgraded lightning strikes. So I'm not having any luck with shards. Now, this is 100% a game of shards. So the thing that would give me the most power is getting that destruction and defense rate on my other defenses I'm using. However, I didn't get those. I do have 3,000 defender medals, so I could purchase a few more shards. I could pick up 3 more shards right now and blow those defender medals. However, I'm going to try to struggle through this next map while saving up my DMs. Now, since we have Chaos 3 beat, we didn't get the good Chaos 3 shard. The good Chaos 3 shard would be Deadly Strikes. This is just going to add a ton to your defenses, particularly if you've got a legendary relic that you can throw 3 shards on. Deadly Strikes would be the one to get. Now, I didn't get Deadly Strikes. There are a few other useful shards throughout Chaos 3. However, Deadly Strikes would be the big one. Now, as I mentioned, you could always just buy some of these shards. I'm going to try to not do that. To make it into Chaos 4 and see if I get lucky. And then additionally, if you are not really concerned about rushing the content, then redoing Chaos 1 maps to try to get more destruction shards and redoing Chaos 3 maps to try to get a Deadly Strike shard would just add to your arsenal an absolute ton. Now, taking a look at Chaos 4, the next enemy we have to deal with is the Berserker. These orcs are bred to be naturally resistant to any sort of slowing effects. In addition to the Berserkers, we have the Vanguards from Chaos 1 and the Geodes from Chaos 3 are going to be back in the picture. Now, with this in mind, we've got 2 of the 3 enemies are going to absorb or reflect projectiles, so we want to stay away from projectile defenses, making our making our aura spam builds kind of a natural go-to. Now, Berserkers cannot be slowed, but they can be stunned, which means they can be knocked up in the air. Additionally, they can be electrocuted. If I had more relics, I think I would throw in a geyser trap into the mix as well to get a little bit of knock-up and to get enemies drenched. That way, the lightning strike aura could cause that electrocute combo and give myself a stun in the mix. Now, I don't have the relics or the shard setups for it, so I'm not going to do that. And with that in mind, this is a fast-moving enemy that can't be slowed, so they are without a doubt going to be at the walls. So with that in mind, we want to pick a map that's going to be conducive for being able to repair all areas basically at the same time. Now, this one, you can go with one of the higher difficulty maps with the large amounts of DU. However, for this run, I'm going to go right to the beginning, and we're going to go to Gates of Dragonfall and see if we can't get our first Chaos 4 win. Let's check it out. Now, once again, it comes down to just using the best thing you have. You know, the best thing we have so far is I've got this anti-orc on my flame auras. However, if that anti-orc wasn't there, I wouldn't really care. I'm just using that because it is a positive mod. We've got this mod, which does nothing on our Skyguard tower. And then we've got an anti-goblin on our lightning strike. You know what? Actually, I should swap those. We'll go with the anti-orc on the lightning strike. That way it's getting a little bit more damage in back at the wall, which does give a little bit less defense power on our flame aura. So that's kind of crappy, but, you know, we will live with it. Now, this map, you only got 600 DU, so 200 DU per lane, plus there's flyers. So I'm going to build the map out just planning on having to kill the flyers myself. So we're going to start off with some walls. As I mentioned, I chose this map because it's a map that allows you to have all of your walls real close together, where you can make it to whatever lane is having an issue as quickly as possible. If we take a look, this close lane is going to have berserkers. It's that top enemy. The middle lane doesn't have, or actually the middle lane has berserkers as well. And this lane has berserkers. So all of our ground lanes are going to have the zerks. There's going to be enemies at the walls. There's just no doubt about it. Let's go ahead and let me sell that one. And let's go ahead and build out. And I think we want to start off with, say, let's go with 4 flame auras at each wall and see what that leaves us. I do want to extend these down the lane as far as I can. So I am going to just keep them spread out at their maximum range. We'll do the same thing here. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, and 4. That leaves 150 DU left. So I could go 7 lightning strikes, or I could go heavier on the auras. I think what we'll do, if we went 1 more flame aura, like right here, there are going to be flyers on this map we need to pay attention to. That's going to give us 120 left, which we can go ahead and just spam up our lightning strike auras. As I mentioned, there's just going to be enemies at the wall. There's nothing that's going to change that fact. The zerks are going to make it to the walls. So that's why I chose this map, really, to give myself, you know, to be in a position where I can be in any area that I want to. Now, also, with that in mind, knowing that the berserkers are coming to the walls, I'm going to take my extra mana and just dump them into the walls. And I think for this lane, we'll throw 1. We'll take the leftovers and put it there. Now let's go ahead and check it out, see how it goes for wave number 1. We're going to want to put in work. We're going to want to CC enemies. Now, in this situation, I'm using Tornado a lot to knock up these berserkers. One important thing to note, though, is you don't want to use it when the berserkers are right on top of your wall. The reason being is they could knock up in the air and come down on the other side of the wall, which, you know, that, of course, is no good. We were getting just beat down over here. Now we got a little bit of a pinch here because this area just gave up and got smashed in. So we're going to need to keep on getting some shots off here. Try to CC this lane up a little bit. See if we can get, see if we can make it through this wave. Losing our wall right out of the gates is not a good thing. So let's just keep the CC real heavy in this lane. We get any mana, we're going to want to try to keep those other walls repaired as best as we can. And then also we have to remember, we don't have any anti-air. All right, we managed to scrape through that one, but boy, it was sketchy, and we got some rebuilding to do. So let's go ahead and get our wall back up. We'll slap it down, say like right there. Let's get that upgrade back on it. These walls got chewed up. Like I said, the first time you're fighting in Chaos 4, the berserkers are gonna just be all over your walls. They're just gonna. All there is to it. How much do we have left? We got 600 left, which would allow us to throw in a few more upgrades. Let's go ahead and throw 2 upgrades in there. We'll throw 2 upgrades in right there and 2 upgrades in right here. Then that gives us 300. And I think we throw this extra DU once again onto our walls, as we just need these walls to survive. Now let's go ahead and see if we can get through this next one. It's a little sketch. Like I said, I picked this map knowing that we were going to get a beatdown on the walls here. The geodes coming down. We're going to have to wait for the geodes to die off before we can pop the lanes or just get inside the bubble. Now, as I mentioned, you do want to be super careful about anything at your wall, knocking it up in the air. If you got something at your wall and you're knocking it up in the air, there is a chance it's going to come down in the wrong lane. So as we get more and more upgrades in, this is going to become smoother and smoother. We do have a Slekelion, which is kind of a bit of a challenge now, because the Slekelion, although not necessarily the toughest mob, it is going to be quite difficult to deal with that one every single wave. We're getting lucky, and our kobolds are dive bombing into our auras, which is good stuff. Let's see. Let's throw a repair in on this lane as well. And then let's try to get some work in on this Slekelion here, because remember, this guy's here for the duration. We don't want this guy... Oh, he's going to just be at the walls. That's all there is to it here. So now we're going to have a Slekelion to deal with at the start of every wave, which is going to give us a whole new challenge here for sure. We are going to be able to get through this one, yeah, without losing that wall. All right, so we're going to have to change focus a little here, since we know we've got Slekelion right there. So let's go ahead and get 2 upgrades on that. Let's get another one on that Flame Aura, as that is where the Slekelion's going to be. And then what else do we do? Do we make our walls thicker? Do we get some more upgrades in here? We're getting lucky on our flyers, too. It's 380 left. Let's go ahead and give this wall an upgrade, since we know the Slekelion is on it. We're going to have a Siege Roller this lane. 200 left. You know what? Let's go full into this Flame Aura on this wall. Now, I'm hoping these other lanes are going to hold. We got another Skelly on the middle lane, too. Hopefully that's not another Slekelion to deal with. But let's see. Slekelion is up. We're going to want to make sure to just heal through that damage to that wall there. And just get this guy burned out as quick as possible. Make sure we're using our pet here for that pet ability. He's actually not doing a ton of damage to the wall. Now that I got some upgrades on it. And then we can just CC the other lanes. Alright, so we got that squared away. I feel like we got too many enemies at our wall here to throw a tornado in. Once they get cleared a little bit, we'll be a little bit better off with that. Let's get these flyers burned out. And this map is one that you can really just keep an eye on that mini-map, and it will save the day for you. Just no doubt. Alright, the flyers have made it all the way in now. Right, so let's see. We can get a repair on that. We got more flyers coming. Let's get the flyers first. The Siege Roller, of course, is going to be a slow mover, so we don't have to get on that Siege Roller right away. Man, the flyers are the real deal here. Not having any flyer defense definitely stings a little. I'd probably be a little bit more wanting to add some flyer defense in there if I had more shards. So once again, it comes down to the shard game. Oh wow, we got another Slekelion. That is just brutal. Let's see if we can't get this guy burned down before we get over to that Siege Roller. The Siege Roller is actually at the wall now. Alright, so we're going to have to switch. Let's grab some mana and switch our repair focus over to this Siege Roller lane. See if we can't get this guy burned out. The amount of health the enemies have is can be quite intimidating for sure. Seeing that you're doing like nothing and the enemies have like a bazillion health. Let's grab a little bit more mana here. That way we can keep that repair flowing. You know, wall repair simulator for the win. Even in Chaos 4 here, without having that construction shard upgraded, we're just repairing through the Siege Roller damage. So definitely not the end of the world to have to deal with these guys, but you do have to make sure you're channeling that wall repair. A little untimely death there is no fun, but we should be able to get right back in on it. Let's get that repair flowing on that wall again. And see if we can't get this guy handled. Alright, Siege Roller down. Now, another important thing is we're going to be getting upgrades as we play. Now, it is a popular myth that if you equip mid-wave, you will increase the loot that drops. That used to be true. That is no longer true in expeditions. Now, if you upgrade your gear in between waves in survival mode, it will indeed affect the loot. However, in expeditions, the drops are recorded internally, and it doesn't matter if you equip it or not. However, we got power issues here, and we just found a really, really, really beast relic. So we take a look back at our flame auras, 8,300 power. This one's got 11,000, but it also has that melee boom, which is so huge. Additionally, it opens up our third shard slot since we're no longer using a blue piece. Now here we got another gift, and that is anti-support. Actually, the kobolds are dive bombing, so the kobolds won't really be a big deal. However, I do think I want to throw that on, as it's just a huge, huge power gain. Having anti-support that's basically not going to do anything on my lightning strike is going to be much stronger, having that additional 4,000 power. So let's get that on there. And then additionally, we got us a fat wall upgrade from 5,400 health all the way up to 8,000. Let's go ahead and take that bad boy. But we got some mid-wave upgrades here, and it should make an absolute huge difference here. So taking a look, of course, we're going to have the Slakelions again. With the Slakelions, once again, I want to focus on upgrading that area. So we got 2 Slakelions to deal with now, so it's going to be just a huge pain in the booty. But let's see what we can do. There's another relic there. That one actually might be better. A Skyguard. Oh, well, I'm not actually even using the Skyguard right now, but we'll throw it there anyway for safekeeping for the future. And let's see what we can do. Wow, we got another Skelly. God, please don't be another Slakelion, huh? Now we've got 2 walls. Additionally, I've only got 15 repair mana. So, gonna want to put some work in here. Okay, we got a gift. The gift is, you know, sometimes there's some bugs in Dungeon Defenders games. In this particular case, the Slakelion decided to turn around and walk the other way. So, enormous gift for wave 4. We will take it. With no complaints whatsoever. Now, you see wither beasts are digging in. We want to make sure there are no wither beasts on the ground. And it actually looks like the extra power we gained from those aura relics is making a big difference. Stuff is not making it near as close to my walls anymore. I do want to keep them capped up, though. Let's grab all the mana we can. Make sure we have lots of repair mana ready to go. And just keep CCing them. Now, in this particular case, as I mentioned right up front, we have no flyer defense in. So we're going to have to kill the flyers manually. If you don't kill the flyers, you just lose. So, you know, make sure to stay focused on those flyers for sure. And hopefully I can maybe get a weapon upgrade here too. This one's going to get a shot in on the core, it looks like. Wow, another Slakelion. I just couldn't ask for worse luck here for this first run through. My gosh, terrible. Absolutely terrible. All right, let's see. Let's see what we got. If we got any more upgrades even. Actually, we got a beast of a totem right there. It's got protective downgrade servo on it. That one's got scatter shot. It is a nice damage increase, but I don't know if I want to be that close to enemies. A swap damage chip. I mean, it's some ability power. Let's take that. Here's a swap AP with ability power on it as well. I want to get something in a little better shape. My gear on my DPS hero is real mix and match. So I want more, you know, less hero health and more ability power. So we got this piece. It's got swap AP on it as well. And then we got that piece with swap damage, but it does have ability power as a main stat. And then, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and take this scattershot weapon, even though it's one of my least favorite weapons to deal with. Now we've got way shorter range, but we should get a little bit more DPS output out of it. Let's see. What do we got? We've got 700 left. Let's hit both of these walls. Since we've got such a mess of Slakelion action. What are we going to have? We got a mage. We got a Drakenlord. This will be our first Drakenlord here. Now, the deal with the Drakenlord, of course, is you have to ignite the Drakenlord's shield. With that in mind, the only way we have to ignite the Drakenlord's shield right now is by switching over to a Huntress and oiling it. If we oil it up, then the Flame Auras are going to light that oil, and we're going to be in good shape. Now, if you're not using Flame Auras and you got no fire damage, you can oil the Drakenlord up and then use your third ability and shoot the little flamey bird at him. And that, of course, is fire damage. So you're going to get the ignite that way. But where do we want to spend this extra 300? I feel like we really need to do it right here where we've got all these Slakelions. The Drakenlord's going to be a challenge too, though. The Drakenlord is the one we've got to burn out as quickly as possible. Let's just get the rest of the Auras upgraded here. To a decent tier. All right, let's get it. So we got 94, so we got a good bit of starting mana for these wall repairs. See if my abilities are hitting a little harder. I forgot to swap. Do that after these Slakelions are dead. The swap chips, of course, also trigger if you die. So if you do get a swap chip in, let's go ahead and swap right now. And then you see under my nameplate, I got 18 seconds. So not exactly a ton of time here. All right, we got flyers rolling in. Get these flyers burned down. It looks like switching over to ability power definitely gave myself a little bit more juice here when it comes to spamming my abilities, so that's a good thing. What do we got going over here? We got Zerks at the door here. Just get them knocked. Okay, and now you see we've got our Drakenlord. All right, so we want to get this Drakenlord burned out first, but we also have flyers coming in with nothing that's going to kill them. So let's swap over to our Huntress. Let's get our oil flask down. And bubble gone. We can now swap back. We're going to have to catch up on these flyers, though. And Drakenlord down. Very, very nice. All right, so we got another Slakelion. Let's go into Wall Repair Simulator again. We've got two bosses left, basically. Slakelion actually is down. And then we got a Malthius. So we got our first Chaos 1 win right here. It is going to be GG's on this one. Little sketchy on the first wave. But after we got over the hump there, we're doing really, really good here now. So he's sitting right in that Flame Aura, which is quite nice. And is not aggroed to me, which is quite nice as well, as I can just blast him in his big old head. And look at this. We got some fat loots. We got our Inspiration Shard for clearing the quest line. But more importantly, we got our first Chaos 4 win. So good stuff there. Let's pop out the tavern and take a look at what we should do next. All right, so here we go. We can take a look. Now, first off, we need to get to, what, 2750 to get Chaos 5 unlocked. However, we also have some shards. We just got that Inspiration. Reduces the cooldown of your abilities. That is a super hot shard. Definitely one that will be worth using on just about every hero. I, of course, have been DPSing on the Apprentice, which that shard is not going to benefit quite as much. So I'm going to equip it, but I'm probably not even going to bother upgrading it. And then we want to do our auto-equip just to get our champion score up. We made it up to 1916. Taking a look at the mods, we got no 10 out of 10 mods, so we can just trash all those. And then we want to look at these shards. We got a Chaos 3 and a Chaos 4 shard pack. So in a perfect world, we get a Deadly Strikes and a defense rate. But let's see what really happens. We got empowered bolts, so I mean that's actually a decent ballista relic. We can throw that on our squire here, and then the chaos 4-pack be a defense rate. No, we got an unusable shard. Now we're getting all these unusable shards, so keep an eye on your shard dust. When you get over 10 shard dust, you can roll for another shard. So like here, we've got what? I've only got 4 chaos, 1 shard dust, 3 chaos 2, 2 chaos 3, and 1 chaos 4. So I'm not in a position to do any shard pack rolls with my shard dust. I do have that 4,000 defender medals, which is going to be kind of tough. But let's take a look. What's our next quest? Speak to Professor Proteus. This one's going to give us 10,000 gold and 100 more DMs. So let's go talk to Professor Proteus. This is all tutorial stuff, of course, just to get through, you know, the basics of the game. Once we talk to Professor Proteus, that one is complete. And then next up, we see our next portion is to go to Onslaught. Now, if we see here, by completing this mission, we're going to get a Deadly Strike Shard for free. We'll get into all the ins and outs of what to do next in the next video, but that is going to do it for now. There is our very first Chaos 4 win, and wasn't too bad, really. Sketchy start, smooth ending. I think that's the way most transitions into a new Chaos tier will end up. Rough Wave 1, much easier Wave 5. But that will do it for now. Thanks an absolute ton for watching. Happy Thanksgiving a day early to everyone out there that celebrates it. It's Thanksgiving Day in the U.S. is tomorrow. And thank you all a ton. So appreciate you. And I will see you all next time. Take it easy.